Okay, this is my second take of this. I tried to record this last night and I ended up with like about an hour of like rant video, which I didn't want to deal with. Hello there, I'm Ian. I am a former event and wedding videographer here in the Philippines, and I'm a full-time editor now, and I recently just bought the Lumix S9.
Hello po. Camera filters, ibigyan si Gosho.
Yan to.
Oo, yes. Okay.
I'll be talking about my thoughts about this camera. I don't want to say it's first impressions. I know what it is. I know what it's for when I bought it. I fully believe that this camera was something that was, I don't want to say it was meant for me, but I want to say that it's something that I wanted as a videographer. Now, a little bit of background. I've been an event and wedding videographer here in the Philippines for close to 10 years. Been filming back in college, and then after that went to weddings and events. Videography is a big deal here in the Philippines, and I was lucky enough that my skill set aligned with the timeline, like when the industry was starting to boom. And so I'm not in the space anymore. Most of my outputs are really personal projects now, and even though I have a lot of camera gears still, I didn't want to use it anymore because like it's big. I didn't want to deal with lugging around large cameras during our travel vacation. So when this camera came out, I thought like, oh, the overall like shape of it and dimension was like, I can definitely fit that in my pocket or just like in a slot in my bag. Anyways, so that's that. I'll be talking about my experience with the camera. I bought this like around early November of last year, so I've only used this for a couple months. I've shot a review video of a restaurant, and I think the most significant one is a vacation. It was a proper vacation with lots of travel that we got to use this camera extensively. So I am giving my thoughts about this camera as a former weddings and events videographer. I wanted a camera that was really compact. Now with full frame lenses, of course, that's not really gonna be like something that's like really doable, because you see here, this is a 35 f2 and this is already like this big. This is also heavy. But with this, I'm pairing this with a TT Artisan's 40mm f2. For my travel videos, I didn't want to bring in like a large camera with large lenses. And most of the travel vacations that we have, we were always doing island hoppings. And so I wanted like a camera that I can just like, put in a small bag, a home sec. Like typically my everyday carry is something like this, so it's just like a shoulder bag or maybe something like this. I've been really just focusing more on like accessibility when it comes to like my bags, and so I have it, if you can see here, home sec there, but I do have an insert compartment here that I can put in, and so this fits. I mean, I can fit my S5 II with this lens here, but like it gets heavy, and I didn't want to deal with that anymore. And with this one, let me just use my smaller bag. With this one, that's that. And then the camera itself is like, it's just there. I still have room here for like phones, wallet, and this is the full setup. This is like a mid-angle shot setup that I can just like grab, point, shoot, open. And so like, to me, like I can't do that with my S5 II or my S5. And so I'm fully committed with Panasonic. The other options were like Fuji, which is like, they have medium format, but that's like another big camera and with a big lens. And their other options are APS-C, which this is full frame. You'll definitely feel the difference when you're using full frame cameras. The other option is Sony, and I just moved out of Sony. Their autofocus is definitely far more superior than the S5, the new generation S line series of cameras from Lumix. I was talking for about an hour, and then I found out that only 13 minutes was recorded. Yeah, if you're into traveling, you want to pack light, if you don't want to like carry like heavy cameras like the S5 II, that means that this camera is amazing for you because of the dimensions of it. Because you can just stick it to, I don't know, your pocket or some slot in your bag. Packing this camera is just going to be a breeze just because of the dimension that it has. I want to move to the second point, which is who this camera is for professionally. And I want to say that this camera is perfect for videographers who do gimbal works. There's only two options for that kind of setup. It's either the A7C or A7C2. The Sony cameras for me is just so commercial, and the image quality of it just looks like video-y. It's so video-y. Sony's colors are leaning towards brown if you try to grade them, and so they get muddy. Canon's color science is leaning more towards green. Their skin tone has like a green undertone to it. So Panasonic, obviously orange, which I'm totally fine with because you can dial down the orange colors in post. The color science of Sony's was just something that's hard for me to deal with in post. That's why we moved out of Sony, and so we've used Lumix for majority of our professional wedding and events days. But when this came out, I immediately thought like, oh shit. That size and weight and like build is perfect for gimbal works if you are filming weddings and events in the Philippines. It's lightweight, it has long battery life. The things that they didn't include here are things that we don't really need as videographers or like as gimbal camera operators here in the Philippines. Like in general, I guess, like not just in the Philippines, but like in general as weddings and events gimbal camera operators. The first thing that they did include in this camera is the shutter mechanism. As videographers, we don't need that. Like we don't need that. Or as far as I know, we've never used that. Anyways, so the shutter mechanism, negligible. We don't need to think about it. The thing that I hate most about when I'm filming weddings and events was that the mic receiver that I have attached to my S5 II always hits the arm of the gimbal. And so when I'm doing like briefcase shots or low angle shots, either the eyepiece, the viewfinder eyepiece, or the receiver always hits the gimbal arm. And so having a hot shoe doesn't matter to us. Yeah, Ian here from the future. While I'm editing, I just realized that I really never address the thing that I want to address here with the hot shoe, is that it was for the flash, which we don't really use because like there's no a mechanical shutter and doesn't have a global shutter. Also, like if you are using the camera on a gimbal, like there's no point in you using the XLR adapter that electronically connects via the hot shoe. So like that's meant for a different camera, not for this camera. So like having an EBF doesn't matter to us. That's just gonna be added weight, that's just gonna be added battery consumption thingy in the camera. So we don't need that. That's why when this camera was released, I immediately thought like, oh shit, that camera would have been amazing if I was still filming weddings and events. Not only that, this will be a perfect camera for you if you're building out your system, because this is cheap, because this is already like close to $1,000. I got this for 65,000 peso, which is around $1,200 for the body. And it features all the things that you would want when you're a gimbal camera operator here in the Philippines. I remember filming weddings and events that go way past 10 hours. If you are doing gimbal works with like a full frame camera, I've done it with the S5 II with the 35 millimeters. That setup is like around 4 to 5 kilograms, and like at 10 hours per project, per shoot, people always think that we work out. We do, but like, you know, we have to in order for us to carry these heavy as cameras and gimbals. That's why I think this would be a perfect fare for someone who uses a gimbal a lot. We don't need the shutter mechanism, we don't need the hot shoe, and we don't need the EBF. We also don't even need like a full-size HDMI. Like this is I don't want to say this is an entry-level camera because this is a very capable camera. I don't want to add an external monitor with the setup. Like I got my S5 for that. So this camera is something that I don't need to have that feature. Moving on to the next topic, which is the build quality. It's bad. If you are used to using the S5 II or any of the Lumix S series cameras, you know that they're robust and solid. This feels dirt cheap. Not that it's dirt cheap, it just feels like it. When I first held it and like I put some pressure into gripping it, it felt like it was going to give. You know how when you press on like plasticky things that they sort of like flex a little bit? It has that. And also the buttons right here. I've seen long-term reviews of this camera that says like it becomes glitchy. Like it's just too sensitive. It becomes too sensitive that any type of like pressure activates it. And so like if you're viewing, let's say, a photo and you just graze over it, it will move. And so yeah, that's something that's I'm not a fan of, and you'll definitely feel that. My workaround with that is the this grip right here. Now, the most common option that reviewers recommended when this was released, you have the small rig attachment that has the grip with it. I didn't want that because you can still feel the plasticness of it because it's only covering like a small portion of the body itself, like the front part. And so even though you do have like a solid grip with it, once you start holding it a lot more like this, and you're basically just using the grip as like something you can have leverage with when you're holding it, you can still feel that the body itself is flexing. And that's something that I didn't want to deal with while handling this camera, because I don't want to get reminders that, oh shit, this camera is just not solidly built. When I saw this grip right here, this wooden grip, it covers most of the front plate that flexes, that makes it feel plasticky. This definitely helps a lot with the ergonomic because you do get like half an inch of grip, and that for me that's enough. It still feels like it's not great, but like in general, this camera doesn't feel great in the hands. If you are planning on making it like the minimalist setup, this is the most that you'd want the grip size to be. Otherwise, you know, it's not gonna be as portable if you try to add like larger grips to it. The smaller grips, and majority of the grips that is meant for the S9, it extends the this part right here. It has a base plate, and to me this size right here is already perfect. I don't want to extend that lower part right here. It adds to the overall dimension and overall weight. This to me right here is what I paid for it to be. I want it to be smaller. If I wanted to have a larger camera, I'd be using the S5, the S5 II, the S1, S1R, the S1H. I don't need this to be what it's not. Yeah, you can rig it, but like you can also rig the S5 II and it'd be a better camera. So that's my take. Moving forward, if you have bought this camera, yes, definitely get something that will enhance the handling of the camera itself. To me, I also wanted to not feel the plasticness of the camera. That's why I opted for this wooden grip. It will cover most of the design aesthetic part of the camera. Of course, if you have like an orange or like the gold black one, or something vibrant like the greens or the orange pinks, this will, you know, it's gonna feel not great because you're not gonna be seeing the colors. You'll only be seeing the colors at the left part, but you know, this will solve the plasticness issue of the camera. So that's that. Now, conclusions. You just gotta know how to use it. Now, this camera is definitely capable. It can be as simple as you want it to be. It can be as complex as you want it to be. This is definitely not for someone who uses flash photography. This is not for someone who likes EBF. This is not for someone who is a main shooter who is using the XLR adapter for the audio. This is not for someone who likes to attach external monitors to their cameras. You know, if you're rigging up this camera, buy a bigger camera. If you like rigging up your camera, don't buy this camera. It defeats the purpose of it being small. You probably can afford like the S5 II or the S1R or the S1E or the S5E, S5 II, I think. Anyways, I would use it as is with a few attachments. This is an amazing camera. If you are a content creator who's only using their phone, who is only using, let's say, like a point and shoot, and you want to upgrade, this will definitely be an amazing camera for you. If you are a weddings and events videographer who don't need the mechanical shutter, or who don't need the hot shoe, or who don't need the EBF, which I think most of gimbal operators don't really need, you don't need that, this is definitely for you. If you are a travel content creator who just wants like a minimalist setup, definitely look into getting this camera right here. It's inexpensive, it's full frame, it has amazing video quality, photo quality as well. The LUT feature is amazing, the image quality is great, the autofocus is starting to be reliable. It's just starting to be reliable. I don't want to say that it's like Sony level, but it's getting there. It's getting there. That's the most important part. It's getting there. Also, another thing as well, another main reason why I got this camera is that it records 1080p, full frame, 60p with face detect autofocus. The S5 II and the S5 IIX, even though it has like face detect, it doesn't have face detect when you use 60 frames per second uncropped. So if you're using the full sensor and you're shooting 60 frames per second, it doesn't have face detect. And I was so happy that when I tried this camera can use face detect, full frame, and 60p. Also, shout out to TT Artisans. Thank you for making this lens. I think this is like one of the perfect lens for this camera. If you can make like a 28, a 24, or 20 pancake, even if it's like 2.8 or 3.5 or 4, I'm totally fine with it as long as it becomes like a pancake lens. Obviously, you still have autofocus, but yeah, TT Artisans, if you're getting this camera, definitely also get this lens. It's $170 something here in the Philippines. It's like around $8-9, but at Shopee you can get this for like $7,000. So definitely something that you can invest into. So Ian here from the future. Okay, so I completely missed out on the on my S9 Mark II recommendations because I forgot to. So anyways, my recommendations for S9 Mark II are: you don't have to put in mechanical shutter. I'm totally fine with it not having any kind of like mechanical shutter. But if you do want to upgrade the system, the global shutter is the way to go. I think if you're not gonna add the mechanical shutter, which I don't think you should, you can just do it as a global shutter. You can upgrade it to global shutter, since it's gonna be Mark II. I know that's a stretch, but like that's a recommendation. That means that if you make it into a global shutter, you can add the hot shoe for flashes. It make this camera open to a lot more people. The EBF, I honestly don't like the EBF. I barely use EBFs on my S5 and S5 II. So, like as videographers, we don't really need it that much. What I would highly recommend is to fix this back panel right here. If you're gonna give us low quality buttons, just don't give us that. Like, just remove it. You can put all of the buttons. Since you already have the buttons here at this part right here, you can just include all of the buttons here and give us like a 4-inch screen. Maybe even 5 if you can do it. Just extend this and make it like the Nikon ZR, I forgot what's. You can just make the screen larger. Don't give us an EBF. Make the screen larger and remove these buttons right here, because these buttons are shit, and just make all of the buttons here. Put them all here. I mean, you also have space here. You can add like another dial here, but just like don't give us this kind of buttons. These are trash. These ones are okay. And also make this customizable, because you can't do anything with the LUTs. You can't customize them, and you can't customize the AF button. Why? All of the Lumix S series, I think even the G series cameras, you can remap the buttons, but these two you can't. Even the white balance you can't remap. So like, you know, just give us that option. Don't give us this cheap feeling buttons and dials. Just give us a larger screen and move them here so that, you know, you can give us a larger screen. Yeah, that's that. Thank you for listening to my rant, and hopefully this all records. Like, I don't want to re-record anything anymore. This is probably the only review that I would have. So if there are other companies out there who want to like, I don't know, send their products, just hit me up.